In 2026, we've got a whole load of threats that are facing us, as we always seem to have when we're working on London Underground. They're reviewing policies across the board on all sorts of things, including discipline and sickness and attendance, and we've got to be ready to defend our terms and conditions in that respect. There continues to be an enormous number of vacancies right across the job, particularly on the engineering APD side. There's reorgs taking place left, right and centre, with some people being threatened with transfer over to TfL, which affects their earnings capacity in the future. There's talk about using fixed term contracts to replace some permanent roles. And of course, there's the threat of trains modernisation hidden behind a compressed working week on the trains, which our members have already rejected by a massive majority. So it's time again, I'm afraid, to return the ballot. We have to do this every 6 months. We've had a jobs and agreements ballot of some sort or other in place for the last 3 years. Of course, we managed to defeat the pensions in our jobs, pensions and agreements dispute. That was a fantastic achievement. But now we've got to make sure we return another jobs and agreements ballot. Why? Well, because unfortunately, since the operating subsidy was abolished back in 2017, which would have been worth about £1 billion a year today, it's put enormous financial pressure onto LU, and TfL LU are saying that we've got to generate a sufficient operating surplus, not only to cover the day-to-day costs of the underground, but also to contribute towards renewals of track and rolling stock and all the other infrastructure that we need to review. So the threats keep coming, and that's why we've got to get the ballot in. Trains modernisation, compressed working week, fixed term contracts in fleet, TUPE threats across APD and the MATS part of London Underground, and inadequate staffing, which is affecting our stations, and all other areas, are all issues that can be taken up under this jobs and agreements ballot. But we need to have the mandate in our pocket when we go into negotiations. The ballot closes on the 15th of January. Don't wait till after Christmas, though, with the post and everything. Get your ballot paper back as quick as you can and give us that mandate. Have a great Christmas, have a good New Year, but make sure that you get your ballot paper back, and that in 2026, the RMT is in a strong position to keep fighting to defend our jobs and our agreements.